Hello, everyone, and welcome again to K Podcast. So today we're gonna be talking about this whole segment over here, as you can see in my thumbnail, and also why a lot of women do not like to be called cis. So I'm gonna just start with this particular, subject over here. I feel like everyone have to respect each other. Everybody have to have the same respect for each other, and you cannot demand respect nor. Uh, Meanwhile, you're disrespecting another person, and also when it comes to pronouns and all of that, a lot of people like to identify, they feel like this is the identity, and they feel like a lot of people out here should respect the identity on how they identify. But I have found that there is a problem, especially as a biological woman, as a woman, because I do not like, and I'm not going to sit down here and say I like the term cis woman, to be called a cis woman. I feel like for those women that would agree and say they want to be called cis women, yes, you can call them cis women. But like you want respect for your pronouns and everything, you should also give that same, uh, you know, uh, favor to other people. You should not even a favor. This is not even about a favor topic. This is about mutual respect. So if I don't want to identify as a cis woman, I prefer that you respect me and just call me a woman. It's as simple as that. As any other person that is out here that will come and say, okay, this is my gender. I hope that you respect it and call me by this gender. I would also do the same if that is what you want to identify as. But when it comes to women saying I don't want to be called cis, it becomes an uproar. A lot of people have a problem with it, and I noticed that a lot of people don't want to talk about it because they don't want to have this big huge problem, surrounding this particular topic. And I feel like it's been disingenuous that to know that women have always been disrespected for a long time since history, and for anyone to come out and literally just because I don't know when this term cis came out, and it sounds a little bit, I'm just gonna say it sounds a little bit political, or like an agenda, because there are a lot of countries that are not accepting that, and especially the community. And I'm gonna say this: I kind of do understand that. I understand everyone wanting to be mutually respected, but what I don't understand is when a woman comes out and be like, "I don't want to be called the cis word. This is not my gender. I want to be respected. I want my gender to be respected. Just call me a woman." A lot of people have an uproar and they have a problem about that particular topic, and I'm like, why? Why don't you want to respect somebody's gender when that person literally tells you what the agenda is, and you decide for yourself that you're not going to respect that? Why? But when somebody misgenders some people out here, you have an uproar, which I don't think you should be misgendering anyone. I think everybody should have the same mutual respect towards each other. Now, I'm gonna bring up this video over here that got my attention in TikTok, because I'm gonna say this. This video have gotten my attention for a long time, and I didn't want to. Is it 5 days ago? I was waiting when I have a time, when I have time to talk about this particular issue, that I'm gonna actually voice out my opinion, because this is the thing. If we cannot respect each other, it is gonna be very difficult to walk through all of this. It is. And my plight as a woman is I am going to support everything woman, and everybody should support their own plight. But I don't want, I'm not in support of other people disrespecting other people's plight and struggle. Nobody should be out here disrespecting other people's plight and struggle. I think everybody should have mutual respect. It doesn't matter if you're a man or woman or whatever gender you want to be called. Just respect other people's plight. Because if there is mutual respect, a lot of these topics will not be out here, and we will not be hurting our feelings and literally calling people out and trying to correct them. As a woman, I respect my pronouns. I call myself a woman. That's it. Nothing more. And I respect anybody that have any other pronouns and say, okay, this is what I identify as. I will respect that, but I hope that you give me the same respect, because if you don't, I'm not going to give you any kind of respect either. It goes both ways. Respect goes both ways. So I'm going to go on and bring up this video over here, because this is something, instead of us having this fight all the time, I feel like I like to mind my business, especially mine, the people that I actually talk to on my podcast here. And this is a topic that has been going on and going wild all around the internet.
That they own womanhood.
So this she's a transgender man, a woman. She trans into womanhood. And she's saying that women are literally trying to gatekeep, period. There is nothing to gatekeep there. It's not a hairstyle. Let me say it again. Period is something that happens naturally in a woman's body. It is part of our biology. There is nothing, there is no gatekeeping. It's not something about a hair, dress, or whatever it is. This is something that naturally happens. And this is where I'm like looking at some people, and this is not everybody from this particular, community that behaves this way. But the fact that some people can be blatantly disrespectful and thinking that they have the right to literally come out here and be very disrespectful about something that we do not have control over is like, I look at it and I'm like, see, I don't know who hurt you, but go face whomever hurt you. Because we are not, the biology has no, you do not need to explain that. Although a lot of people want to change it, it is something that you're born with. When you're born with it, you're born with it. So let's go.
Cis women to believe that they own periods, that they own womanhood. You don't. Okay, you don't own periods, you don't own womanhood. You experience both, and both are different for every person, but as a cis woman, it doesn't belong to you, so you can't.
Okay, it's a good thing I don't identify as a cis woman, because I identify as a woman. First of all, you experience it. You experience it, and that is how Mother Nature made you. This is not a discussion. This is your nature. You don't, it's not like going to experience movie, or going traveling abroad, or going on a vacation to experience some certain kind of things. This is who you are. And whether you like it or not, that is how you came out of your mother's womb, and that is what you're going to go through. And like every other woman, like I said before, this is not a hairstyle. This is not something that women gatekeep. So I don't understand.
Gatekeep it. Like,
nobody is gatekeeping a period. Gatekeeping is when you limit somebody's access to something. And I don't know if this is a big shocker to y'all, but trans women have never and will never have access to a period. It is biologically impossible. We are not gatekeeping a uterus. You don't have one. It's not about how you feel and how you identify and how you present. Trans women are men. Now, you can make up, dress up, doll up, change up your appearance, but you have XY chromosomes. That is something that y'all just have to accept. A big issue with the trans community, mainly trans women, is that you are no longer just looking for a seat at the table. Y'all trying to be the table.
Which is true. Because this is the thing. If you want to be a part of a community, you do not go over there and literally try to change the whole thing. Try to change how women identify themselves. You will not go there to try to change the whole definition of being a woman. You're trying to hijack the whole thing at this point and change it to your own liking. And that is why a lot of people and a lot of community are very unwelcoming to all of this. There are a lot of communities that are unwelcoming to this, because it doesn't only distract a lot of things. It distract the literally basic thinking of literally how they are communities that have traditions and all of that, it might actually literally disrupt that. That's why a lot of countries in Africa have a problem with this. A lot of these transgender things has been being pushing on many of these countries, and a lot of countries are starting to see that it's not that you want to integrate into this community, it's the fact that you want to literally change it. That is where a lot of people have a problem with this. It's not because they don't want to accept you, it's the fact that when you come inside, you want to literally change the definition of womanhood. You want to change everything, you want to take everything, and that is where I feel like a little bit of misogyny comes inside. Because if you want to be a woman, you're gonna have to drop all that misogyny in the back door. You're gonna drop it outside before you come in. And some of these people do not want to do that. They don't want to do that. They don't want to drop that misogyny before coming in here. They want to come in here and redefine what womanhood is, and expect the natural born women to sit down, sit back, and be like, yes, okay, I'm not gonna say anything. Because no, a lot of women have supported this movement, especially celebrities, have supported this movement only for us to get pied in the face and be disrespected. And some women, I see some women out here talking about, I don't like to be called cis. Can you respect me, please, and just call me a woman? And some people literally just go on the attack mode. But yet you want people to accept what you identify as, and you do not want to respect other people's identity. How does that make sense? This is not an attack on you, especially if you're attacking other people's pronouns. So let me bring up this woman over here, because this whole story had gone so deep that a lot of people all over the world, because it's not only America, it's all over the world. And this is the thing: a lot of people might be saying, "Oh, people are not welcoming this movement." Is because of this whole thing. It's not that people cannot accept it. It's the fact that the disruption that it brings, and people that are very, very problematic that it brings with it, that cannot respect other people but expect respect. It is not going to go that way. It is never going to be successful if you go out here and being a problematic person, trying to redefine gender for other people that told you in your face, like, this is my gender. I understand that other people have their own gender and I will respect that, but accept mine and respect mine. But then you go ahead and try to disrespect it. It is where the problems start. So let me bring up this.
It's hilarious to me that you call me making a video about not wanting a part of my anatomy called a bonus hole as harmful to the trans community. I'm not seeing how me wanting my body and my identity to be respected is harmful. I think that degrading women and our biology and our anatomy is harmful and disrespectful. Calling it a bonus hole as if it doesn't have an actual function, like, gee, I don't know, giving life. You know, you had to pass through there to come into this world. It's not a bonus hole. It has a function. There's a reason it's there. And the disrespect of calling it a bonus hole is what pisses me off. Okay? Me standing up for women is not harmful. Me standing up for my identity and my body is not harmful. And if you think so, you're the problem, not me.
And that is another topic. Like, this is exactly what I mean when you bring misogyny from the other side to here. You forget that you're trying to identify at this particular people, and then you bring insult into here and literally calling it a bonus hole. What is a bonus hole? Why do you feel the need to redefine a woman's body? The same person that you wanna imitate, the same person that you wanna be. You wanna be a woman, but you come over here because this is the thing. I feel like it is the fact that internally, some of these people feel like they can't really be it. So how do we throw mud on that particular gender? So that is where the disrespect comes in. Oh, we're gonna call it a bonus hole. That is where humanity comes from. Do you get me? That's where humanity comes from. That's why when you look at the world right now, childbirth rate from Japan to everywhere is lowering, because the people that you want to call that have natural birthing system are not wanting to give birth anymore. Some women are out here saying, I don't want to have a child. Society is effed up right now. I am not in the position, I am not in the mental state of having children. If it was that easy, all of you would have been having kids. You would have had that bonus hole. Do you know why childbirth has been declining nowadays? It's because biological women, a lot of us out here are tired. And then getting this disrespect is not helping things either. And then having somebody that wants to identify as us come in with the disrespect and trying to literally redefine what we are is disrespectful. And a lot of people do not want to understand this, because they bring that man thinking, that misogynoir from that side over here, and they have not left it down there. I'm gonna bring this other video over here. Let me just pull this one up.
Is in an uproar about who can bleed and who can't. Men have become so obsessed with women that they want to turn into one, and I find it quite flattering that womanhood seems so great to you guys. Y'all know me, you may not like what I gotta say, but I'm gonna say it anyways. In recent conversation, there's been a lot of uproar between trans women and real women. In my opinion, I think the most misogynistic thing that a man can do is reject his biology as a man and go into women dominated spaces telling other women how he's a better woman than them, because it's based off of his feelings of how he perceives a woman to be, while walking in society emulating what he believes a woman looks like by replicating other women. When we're discussing womanhood, I cannot go to another woman and ask her what it feels like to be a woman, because being a woman is not a feeling. However, being a woman, I absolutely am subjected to my reproductive organs that identify me as a woman. And saying that doesn't mean that I'm less than a woman. It just means that that is the beginning of my woman origin and my woman experience. And for the women who can't have a baby, we still recognize those women as women because they do have the reproductive organs to do so. However, we also understand that something is medically wrong with them. I will give credence to the fact that women are not the only people who have a period if we're identifying them that way, because non-binary people or trans men actually can also have a period, but at the basis of it, we call those biological women. However, when you're talking about trans women, we understand that that is something that biologically impossible you cannot do. The power struggle here that comes into play is when there is a very small minority of people imposing onto a larger group of people that are telling them what they would like to be called, how they would like to be treated, how they would like to be pronounced, and how they would like to be identified, but then you're imposing terminology onto them that they have yet to accept. So I must appease your feelings calling you by the pronouns that you identify with as, because you have chose to make this decision about putting on a wig and putting on nails and putting on a dress. However, when I tell you I reject terms like birthing person or breastfeeder or real woman or biological woman or cisgender woman, at this point, then I should just understand and accept it because science says so. But science also says that the basis of your DNA, you are biologically a male. So why are we not listening to science all the way across the board? Seems a little hypocritical to me. And since everyone has such an issue with understanding just hilarious, let me go ahead and put my cape on, because I think I could break it down for you a little bit more. It's very disingenuous for you to overshadow that woman's feelings in regards to her womanhood when she actually has given birth to a baby, which biologically that does make her a woman. However, you decided to discuss her looks and says that she looks like a trans person, while you're also attempting to advocate for trans people. It's giving inherent transphobia. Also, to resurface the interview where she's relaying her experience of a man DMing her thinking that she was a trans woman to have sex with her probably offended her, because she's an actual woman and should be more of a slight to trans people, considering the fact that that person has a fetish and just wanted to sexualize you and use you as an inanimate object. As a Black woman, we have to be extremely mindful of how we attach ourselves to other intersectional groups when it comes to their issues. because we're always the first to remind people nobody respects us and nobody protects us, but we're the first to jump into the line of fire when other people need a defense. So here's a few things to remember when you're talking allyship. They're always present when it's time to give the tea or bash heterosexual men and amplify any bad experience that we've had in regards to our relationship issues. But anytime it's time to help these children and provide for them or be a better role model or even your protection, they are nowhere to be found. Not saying that there's an agenda, but I will say for a very small group of people who seem to not have any effect on anybody, when their issues come up in conversation, they're making a huge ruckus, and their representation comes at the basis of overshadowing other marginalized people.
Well, she said it all. She said it all. And I don't even need to say so much. And this is the thing. This has been going so across the board into sport, into pageantry. Let me say it again, into pageantry, where women, like at this point, I'm like, why don't you all literally, because if everybody want to go into pageantry, into women's sport and all of, why don't you all just remove all the women then and put all these people in there? Because is that what we want to identify as a woman now? So what are we supposed to identify as women? What is the next identity that you want to give us? Because I'm not taking Burton person. I'm not taking Burton person, and I'm not taking cis. Unless you want to call me Mother Nature, I'll take that one. I'll take Mother Nature. I'll take Mother of Humanity. That's another way to go. Mother of Humanity. I'll take that one. But I'm pretty sure you don't. A lot of people don't want to give us that name. They don't want to give us Mother of Humanity because they probably be in an uproar for that one too. But the cis thing, I'm definitely not on board with that. That is some nonsense. And for people, no disrespect to the people that prefer to identify as a cis. Good luck to you, cis. But for me, I prefer my original pronouns as a woman. And if you can't, call me mother of humanity. Because yeah, that is what I am, the person that humanity comes from. Women are the people that humanity comes from. We bet humanity, both women and men. So can we get mother of humanity? Of course not. So we're gonna go into I think what Jess had to say here, because this is the thing. A lot of people were coming for her. A lot of people had a lot of things to say about her. And I'm like, really? And you don't see a lot of celebrities wanting to talk about this, because it's been, at this point, I'm starting to think maybe it might be a little bit of an agenda. So
because we are the gatekeepers. We are the gatekeepers for periods. We the only one that fucking bleed, honey. We the only ones that can give birth.
How do we gatekeep something that we were never really included in or a part of? Because these versions of femininity and womanhood and gender, Black women were never really invited to that club. Not for real. They don't think of us when they think of those versions of femininity and womanhood, because gender is a colonial construct, not just a
gender might be what the colonials construct and all of. It's not a construct, it is your DNA. And okay, then I can actually identify as what my culture will call me. If we want to put gender into colonial construct, and as Black women we're not accepted into womanhood when it comes to colonization and all of that. But at the end of the day, the basic thing is there are many cultures and there are many things that identify us as a woman, and in the English language you do identify as a woman. So when it comes to language base, this is not anything, this has nothing to do with colonial structure. When you interpret in every other language, every language have a meaning of or a name for women. Every language have a name for a woman. And in the English language, a woman is what the older culture calls the women, the females that birth their children. So when I hear people saying it's a colonial construct, I'm like, you guys are making this into too much of a nothing. It is nothing that you're trying to turn into something. You're trying to bring all this colonial, oh, it's the colonial construct. Nobody was an actual woman. See, in my country and in my native language, I am called something. I'm not going to say the name over here. You get me? I am called a woman. And in the English language, what it interprets to, because it sounds like a lot of people do not understand that when you say a woman, it might, in your culture, when you want to interpret it, it means woman. It has nothing to do with colonial structure or whatever you want to bring it to. Even though in those days, black women were not identified as women because they wanted to make use of them and profit from them. At the end of the day, it does not change the fact that they are biologically women. And in their culture, even those days, they were identified as women by different languages. And if you interpret all those languages into English, it tells you that it's still called a woman. So let's not go into this colonial structure thing. Now, we're gonna go into, I think this is Italy, Spain, or something. It was either Italy or Spain. They had this big case where they actually, stop biological men from actually contesting in pageantry. And a lot of people were like, oh, why would they do that? There are many countries that are having problems with this movement right now because of the the discussion that is bringing up, and the fact that a lot of people are starting, a lot of people that were in support of this, a lot of people that were support of people identifying as themselves are now having, especially women, are now having problem. And I do understand a lot of people might be like, oh, it's not a problem. It is. When you disrespect somebody nowadays, you cannot even call somebody by another pronouns. You cannot call another body a person by a pronouns that they do not accept. If you call them by another pronouns, they have a problem with you. But then you want to go out and then call a woman that likes to be identified as a woman. She told you, I identify as a woman, not as a cis, but as a woman. You want to go there and tell her she's a cis. That's disrespectful. Like I said from the beginning of this video, if we want to be in a peaceful place, everybody got to respect everyone. And if you cannot respect other people, you're not going to get it back. You're not going to get respect back. And you're going to literally push people away.
Women from competing in their beauty pageant. Miss Italy has officially banned biological men who identify as trans women from competing in their beauty pageants. The organizers of Miss Italy are saying that in order to be a contestant, you must be a woman at birth. Now, if you remember, just a few weeks ago, Miss Netherlands crowned their first transgender woman. Miss Universe used to be owned by Donald Trump, and since 2012, they changed the rules to allow people who identify as trans to compete in the competition. An official from Miss Italy said, since it was born, my competition has foreseen in its regulation the clarification according to which one must.
Okay, at this point, why didn't they just change the whole Miss Universe? Let all the trans people, trans women go for Miss Universe then. Because at this point, I don't think women should be competing in that. Yes, I don't think biological women should be competing in that anymore. If you want to take over a movement, have it. Have it at this point. You want it so bad, take it. It is getting out of hand.
Must be a woman from birth, probably because even then it was foreseen that beauty could undergo modifications, or that women could undergo modifications, or that men could become women. And I think they're sort of referring to plastic surgery too. Now, just beauty pageants in general and Miss Universe, there are currently no regulations on just general plastic surgery, but you're definitely discouraged from doing anything that would alter your natural beauty.
I'm going to say this. It's like a loophole for a lot of people when it comes to being a woman, and they see it like something you could just go into without actually understanding the fact that natural women have a lot of things that we go through mentally, physically, and emotionally. There was a lot that we go through. But a lot of people want to overlook that and just be like, oh, you know what? I'm just going to come here, even though I'm not born this way. And I'm literally going to turn the table around and tell you what you are. It's like a man coming in and telling you what he thinks about you. What is the difference? What is the difference there? And a lot of people might be like, oh, they just want to be themselves. Yeah, we have all accepted that you are going to be yourself. And we're like, have it. But it's like being yourself is not enough. So you want to come wreck everybody else's stuff over here. So this problem is even been going even into lesbian community. There was a lesbian that actually said something. She said if she doesn't, when she goes out there and she's like she only dates women because she's a lesbian, she won't have a problem. She imagine a lesbian saying that in their community they are even not considered part of that community, because if you date a woman, they think you're transphobic also because you don't date all the people. This is almost like, I'm gonna call it, it's almost like bullying. Either way, if you're a woman, even if you're a lesbian or whatever, they come after you too. You can be a lesbian, if you don't date, you're transphobic too. If you're a woman, you don't go there, you're transphobic. Like everything that does not center this particular group at this point, I'm not saying all of them have this mindset, is becoming like you're transphobic. If you speak the truth, you're transphobic. So what should we all do? Become sheeps? Because I'm not a sheep. Let me bring this video up in here.
Because they call you transphobic. You can't be like a straight up lesbian anymore.
Why not?
Because they call you transphobic. If you like, I'm a lesbian that like I only want like vagina. Sorry. Oh, you're transphobic because some trans women have penises and some trans women are women and some trans women are lesbians and you need to like. It's like no, it's not how it works. But
so you're saying being attracted to the same sex, in your case, the female sex, is considered exclusionary by trans activists?
100%. And a lot of them are here in the UK. Just saying. I'm just saying. It's like the United States, the UK, and Australia. It's like, and Canada, bad.
What's the Anglosphere really going mental all at once?
I mean, it's first world countries.
Yeah.
First world problems, right?
Right.
You don't see people in Africa complaining about like homosexuality.
Do you reckon this episode is going to be demonetized, mate?
Probably. Listen, then it's homophobia.
Yeah.
Same homophobia.
So I guess, but being serious for a second, what you're saying is you are now seeing that people like you who who are lesbian, right? You're feeling pressure.
100%. And I get messages every day, literally every day. People that I date, like it's funny because when I go on dates and they find out like who I am, whatever, they'll be like, a lot of them will be like, oh, you must have girls up in your DMs flirting with you. I'm like, actually, it's a lot of like gay people that are like, you know, I'm outcasted at my school because I'm like homosexual and I'm not non-binary and not queer and I'm not, you know, trans identifying and I'm not open to everything. It's like, because you're just gay, like.
So you're not rainbow enough anymore.
You're not rainbow enough. You can't just be like a basic gay guy or a basic lesbian anymore.
Is it because
you know why though, right?
No, go for it. Why?
Because nobody likes cis straight white people.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Or cis, like the less. Let me say this. How you say it? Okay, so like cis straight white men are at the bottom of the pole. Like they're at the top of the world.
We know.
Yeah.
So right, they're top of the world, but like in like the gay culture, right? Like or the woke culture, you're at the bottom. Like nobody likes you.
Yeah.
So like then you could be white. You could be a white cis but gay man.
Right.
And then you can be white cis lesbian.
Yeah.
And then it's like the queers, trans, black trans women are at the top.
Right.
It's like we have to praise these people. And it's like, how about we're just all the fucking same?
Yeah.
Like we're all on the same level. We're all learning about ourselves. We're all different people. Nobody has to hate anybody. Like they're trying to erase hierarchy and these system of oppressions by creating another system of oppression, hating white people, hating straight people, hating men. It doesn't make any sense. So now you have all these young kids that are cis straight white men or cis straight white women that are claiming all these other identities because they don't want to be on the bottom of the pole, right? They don't want to be hated. So they're like, just kidding. I'm not actually white. I'm Native American, like Elizabeth Warren. Like, I'm just kidding. I'm actually non-binary. So I'm like, I get like oppression points. Now I'm up here. This is what happens. You created a new system of hierarchy. Stupid.
That is just sad. That is just sad because this is the hierarchy that a lot of people we're talking about. We don't want hierarchy. We want everybody to be the same. At the same time, you want to be up in the hierarchy. You want to literally construct a new hierarchy when you talk about we want everybody to be the same. How does that, how does it make sense? Make it make sense. Like, make it make sense. I can't. Seriously, I think when everybody respect each other, it would go more smoother. And this thing that they're trying to create another hierarchy, another pedestal, I'm like, no, I'm just gonna stay in my side over here. I'm a woman. I love being myself, and that is how I identify as. You can call me mother of humanity. I love that one too. That's how yeah, because I give birth to children. I am this is where humans come from. Women are where humans, that is the puddle where human beings, both male and female, come from. I do not accept anything other than woman, mother of humanity, mother nature. I agree with that one. Apart from that, no. Now, yeah, girl, it is an operation of Olympics. At this point, they're making it into an operation Olympics. We small press. Now, with that being said, I'm going to say this. Thank you all for actually being here. Do not forget to press the like button and subscribe. And also let me know what you think about this particular video today. And I will see you all on the next one. Have a great day and goodbye.